maybe.
Maybe.
Is this the part the fiber optic stuff will get faster?
Yes.
We're getting new service put in our neighborhood. It's like, okay, maybe this is why we wanted
Really.
to do it. Okay. All right. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Might be a quick night tonight. Where's everybody at? But come on in and welcome. Hello, I'm Tammie.
I'm Lance.
And we are the Journey to Healing team, and we are here to help you through your journey of building healthy families at home. And how we do this is 4 generations in our family. Sometimes we're really good at it, and other times we really struggle, and like everybody else. So we are trying to keep everybody afloat and get this moving. So we will check in and get started, and then everybody else can come and jump in and check in. We didn't fast this week. We had kids all week, so we kind of have been enjoying having the grandkids over. Um, and I screw it up every time I'm trying to cook with my kids. If I don't wear a mask while I'm cooking, I mess up a fast every time. So we didn't do a fast, but I did do sardines yesterday. So I got my sardines in and quit early, and it was amazing. My glucose went from 117 yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Had my sardines that day, and the next morning, my glucose was in one day down to 88. So, as much as I don't like the little boogers, I love what they do for my chemistry. So it's one of those, it just shows I can control this glucose, even when it feels like it's out of control and it's hard. It's just staying diligent and kicking into it and staying right with it. So that's me. Where are
I'm just rolling with you,
you
just going with it. So I finished up the pork butt we had on the smoker. Just watching my portions and just kind of rolling along with her. So just trying to support her and just tote the line. So
He's good. So we are doing okay. Everybody checking in on Maddox. He's doing great. If you guys see his numbers over there, I think his ketones were 2.3 or something this morning. His glucose is staying down, and as long as we keep him cheering on and everything like that, he's doing great. It's neat. I think the hardest part for him, we're trying to keep ketones in circulation for that brain health to help with the seizures. Um, it's not as much the food because our that's all we have in our house is the food, the correct foods. It's more of he's used to snacking, and he's used to just running by and grabbing something. And he's learning, as a 12-year-old growing little boy, that he can do that. We only have good snack options for him, but he's realizing real quick what those snacks do to his glucose too. So it's a learning experience, but we're just grateful that he is able to keep ketones in circulation for that brain health right now, because that's the main priority in our family right now is to keep him covered in ketones to help with that brain. We do not want to medicate him if we don't absolutely have to for the seizures. So that's where we're at. Lance's dad so like I said, we do this in 4 generations in our family. So from Lance's dad, us, our my kids, and then our grandkids. So it's one of those we're trying to do this at every level. So sometimes we're really good, and then other times we really got to help each other along and get going. But that is us. We're doing great. Come on in, Lenny. Come and check in and say hi.
hello, everyone.
Where's your sidekick? Come
Oh, he's snoring. He's
on.
somewhere around here, but yeah. So yeah, everything's going good. Today was day number 3 for me with the sardines.
Whew.
Uh, doing an OMAD with that. And yeah, I'm really happy with my numbers. I'm really excited though about the energy level that I have. Like it's just like I don't know what to do with it. So it's awesome. Yeah, sardines for breakfast is the thing now, 5 o'clock. woohoo! Yeah, three
That's
three
some
cans.
power.
Yeah,
Huh.
three cans. Yep. And I take in plenty of different fats with it. So I have that down pretty good. Now tomorrow I'm gonna go back to my eggs and bacon. And I'm gonna do that as an OMAD. And that'll be the first time I'll do that as an OMAD. I have pretty much the macros down almost about the same with the fats and the protein as I do with the sardines. So I'm curious to see how the numbers work out. Yep. Um, the only other question, I was thinking about this the other day. I meant to ask, do any of you or do all of you take like any like extra vitamins at all?
Most of the time, when it comes to supplementing and stuff like that, our whole goal is to get the high density nutrition in you so you don't need a bunch of that, a bunch of supplements. For some of us that we used to, I used to spend a fortune on supplements. But now it's down to we try to get that high density nutrition. So the ones that we still do, of course, we live in Ohio, so vitamin D is forever going to be a part of our regimen. Um, and really, vitamin D is the biggest one
So, o-
that we turn
okay,
to.
yeah, I take a vitamin D. The other thing I do a multivitamin. But that's it.
Yeah. And
So,
if you're getting all your fats and those proteins in and you're eating good quality meat, we just find that we don't need them as much as we used to. When we were eating vegetarian and vegan and all those kind of things, you had to add and supplement, and it just kind of makes me laugh now that I don't need to add anything. I'm fine if I just eat properly, get the good eggs, get the good fats, get the good proteins,
sure.
get
Yeah.
all, yeah. And it does. But we always laugh and say the money that we save now by not buying all the supplements, we can buy great quality meat
Yes.
and I can
Yes. I
keep him
will.
And
fed.
I find too that you have to take so many supplements to get there's an easier way to get the stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd rather go
Yeah.
right to the source instead of spending my money on multivitamins. I would rather go get what I need and get it in me in a more powerful dose if you know what I mean. Like
Sure. Yeah.
even with the liver, and I know the ladies and the iron thing is really important, but the liver is the easiest way to get iron in. And it goes back to her, you'd have to take so many, bottles of iron pills to get the concentration that you get out of a few bites of liver. You know what I
I'm going to
mean?
give you the
Mm.
throwdown on that. When we do the brains class, Dr. Boz does a whole section on iron in the brain. Iron is so important for brain health. The elemental iron that they used to give us, when we get pregnant, they would put us mamas on iron pills and all that stuff. Well, of course, it constipates you and you can't poop for a month of Sundays. Like it just messes everything up. But when you go with hemoglobin iron, which is iron that has been in circulation in an animal or living being, and you take that, the liver, so eating a couple bites of liver is equivalent to like 26 elemental iron pills. So
Oh,
a
wow.
couple bites compared to a whole bottle of elemental iron, it's night and day difference. So the liver, that is why we have a couple of little tricks that we use on our family for this. We live near a butcher, so I will go and have them or grind up. I'll order 10 pounds of ground beef ground with 3 pounds of liver into that double grinded into that hamburger. And as I make burgers, as I make tacos, as I make sloppy joes, anything like that for the kids, it's right in there. And just know I have tried to go to 4 pounds of liver and 10 pounds of ground beef, and my kids will call me out on it. But if I stay at the 3 pounds, they don't even know it's in there. Spice it,
And the
season
nice the
it.
nice thing is they sell it as pet food
It's not a
because
nice thing, it's because they're not allowed.
they're not allowed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just just know when you check with a butcher, they may have to think outside the box.
Yep. So when we pick it up, when we go to the butcher and we order our 10 pounds of ground beef, double ground with 3 pounds of liver, our packages literally say pet food on them, just
Wow.
But
because some kind of legality that they are not allowed to do it. So it's trying to say that getting those supplements in you, save the money, eat the meat.
I mean, look for other ways that you might be able to get it, and it might be cheaper and maybe easier to get. You know what I'm saying?
The other
Hmm.
way we do it for people that can't do liver or just refuse to eat it is when we would break our fast or we throw the steaks on the grill or the burgers on the grill, whatever we're doing, every week we buy a pound of the liver and I just throw it on the grill with whatever meat I'm cooking.
And we're talking beef liver.
Beef liver, and then we take
Yeah.
that off, and it's already sliced real thin from our butcher, and we take that off, and we'll eat a few bites right then while we're not eating liver as the meal, we're eating liver as a little bit needs to go down to get us our iron, and then we can cut the other pieces up, put them in the fridge, and a couple times a week we just go by and gnaw on a bite of it and take it off. The people that absolutely hate it, that will not eat the liver, I have them cook it up, slice it up into bite-sized pieces, and freeze it. Put it in a baggie,
Hmm.
put Ziploc it, freeze it in the freezer, and run by and make them tiny enough that you can swallow them whole. And just take them like a supplement pill, like a capsule or anything like that. Just cut them up nice and small, freeze them, and get them in you. And all you need
You
is
know,
A couple bites
I
a week.
completely forgot about liver. I love liver. I might have to try liver and sardines for breakfast.
Dude, we do liver on a flat iron grill, and I'm telling you what, it's like quick on one side, flip it on the other side, and I like it. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's not
yeah.
my favorite texture, but it can go down. Again, it's one of those I don't like sardines either, but they go down. So it's just
Okay.
you
Does
can do
it
it.
have to be beef or does the same thing apply to chicken?
Chicken livers will work too, but those are so small. Chicken
Mm.
livers are, much smaller, but chicken livers would be great. Elemental iron, or just as long as that's hemoglobin iron
Yep.
is what you
Mm.
want. So,
Okay, and how much per day should we be doing?
um, she says a few bites a week. So we literally just when we break our fast or one of our feeding days, I'll put a pound of it on and then we munch on it through the week. So I don't have a
And it all depends on how,
dosage.
and it all depends on how you are in your iron too. I mean, you might find it's the same thing with the element or with the salt. I mean, you'll find if you need it, you'll crave it. If you don't, you may not crave it as much. So you have to take that into balance. Keep an eye on your body and keep reading your body.
Yeah. Yep. Good job. Good questions, Lenny. Come on in. Lisa, you want to come check in next? Oh,
Hi.
nope.
I thought Michaela was here first.
Was she there? All right,
Yeah,
hang on. I don't get everybody in order. Everybody
no
bounces
worries.
around on my screen. So come on in, Michaela. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello,
This
McKenna.
Hi, this is my first week.
Sweet.
Nice. Welcome. Welcome to the Crazy Tribe.
Thanks. I I've taken the course before the keto continuum,
Mhm.
and so I'm going back through and I'm trying to take it one step at a time. So I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, so I sabotage. So
This
I'm
is the place for that.
Yeah, week two, and I never joined a community, and so I'm trying to post my numbers online in the morning and then joining this group. So
Nice.
that's
Excellent.
where
Are
yeah,
you over in our Facebook group? You are.
Yes,
I
yes.
yeah, yes.
remember.
So
Yep.
that's,
Welcome.
thank you.
Welcome. Just know everybody that's went through Keto Continuum, we all have stumbled and fallen and pushed our way through it and bulldozed our way through it the first time through. And then when we come back around the second time is
Yeah,
when we usually really start to, it's like, okay, now I'm understanding this chemistry,
Or the third time,
right?
or the fourth time.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
all depends.
How many times you circle back around, but it's those kind of things you will learn what the chemistry shift means, not just doing the steps. And I think even over in our paid classes that we're talking about right now, the biggest thing we're talking about is you may know the knowledge,
yeah,
but that does not mean we're applying it. And that's the difference of applying it day after day, not for a day, not for a couple days, not even a week. When you have to apply it consistently, and that means weeks,
yes,
weeks in a row, and that is not easy to do. And it's just one of those, that is where it takes a tribe. And when you can be with like-minded people,
yeah.
it's just, that's the win in it. So it really
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
is.
Great.
Welcome. So how's your numbers doing? What step are you on?
I would say I'm on step two. I've been really upping my fats, and so I'm starting to feel not hungry, and I'm starting to miss a meal here.
Nice.
Good.
So that's where I'm at.
Good. And then you'll progress right through those steps. And when that chemistry is right, it will carry you through that
Yeah,
feeling. So
yeah.
you're
So
heading in the
that's
right
where
direction.
thanks.
So nice job and congratulations.
And just
Thank
Well,
you.
just remember too, the better you lay your foundation, the better you'll be later on. So take your time, lay
Yeah,
your foundation right because you'll always come back to it. You'll always come back to this bike. I mean, even as a veteran, we go back to the beginning and go back to our foundation and
yeah,
go do it again. So,
yeah.
I mean, once you know that those building blocks correctly and lay them out in the right place and pattern, you can always come back to them and they'll support you that way.
Great. Yeah. So I see people fasting and I want to, but I'm just trying to systematically go through it and not jump ahead. So
just know this. I will also throw this one out there. All of us girls north of 40, 50 years old dealing with hormone issues.
yeah,
I will tell you, having hundreds of people through this course, um, If you skip through those steps and you push through them too fast, you will crash and burn and you will go back and have to start over. So laying that foundation with those fat-based hormones first, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, leptin, ghrelin are all fat-based hormones. So
Yeah.
laying that foundation and getting those all working properly first is what's going to help you succeed to push into fasting. Because if that chemistry is right, the chemistry carries you through the fast.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. So
Good.
thank you.
Hold tight. Don't
Okay.
push through it. I'd rather see you go a little bit
Right.
slower than
Okay.
too fast. And that's across the board is when your chemistry is ready, then you're ready to push. Then all you're dealing with is a mind game.
Yeah, yeah. So
And speaking of mind games, the other mind game, it's nice that you want to fast,
Yeah.
but your body's not ready yet.
yeah,
So keep that want in your mind because your body will catch up at some point and you'll fall into fasting. You really will.
Yeah.
And there will be, again, the better you lay your foundation, the easier that transition will be. And it'll just kind of slip into place and you're like, you know what? I can do that fast.
Yeah.
And you can know it and be confident in it.
yeah. Great.
And we do throw a lot of emphasis on fasting because we know the benefits of it, but we don't want people to do that that's not ready for it yet because we want everybody to have a good experience with it because it is good when you come out on the other side when you do it right.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome and welcome. Come on in, Lisa.
Hi, guys. Haven't
Hello.
seen you in a whole 24 hours.
Right?
Right? Well, it's been a week for me, so.
All
like
right, here
family.
we go. Thank you, Tammie, for the conversation yesterday on sleep. My husband is being funny.
Right.
And so you two obviously need to be separated. So
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Keith feels about liver the way I feel about sardines. So I can eat it all day, every day, and
I can eat sardines. I
Yeah.
eat them twice a day.
yeah. Um,
Freeze
so
that liver and eat it. It's worth it.
yeah, okay. So I used to keep it in the freezer and, just pop it open and,
Yep.
Bake it. Actually, I used to, well, it doesn't matter. So I will get back to that.
Yep.
I don't have a
I'm-
preference
I'm
over.
I'm gonna try it too because if I'm gonna do it, then do it.
Yeah. And here's
So-
one thing real quick. Like I said, we usually throw it on the flat grill or flat iron grill. Then after we cook it, we put it in the refrigerator.
Mhm.
And it's in a Ziploc bag. And the texture's different
Once it's
when
cold.
you eat it cold
Okay.
as
Mm.
opposed to when you eat it hot. So if that's a texture issue for you, Keith,
That's
Try it cold.
Try it cold.
Okay.
I've done, like cold bacon or
Mhm.
it doesn't matter to me. I'll grab a hamburger cold, boom, roll with it. But there's a different texture to it. So it kind of, something to try.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tammie, we have a lot of environmental health issues, and that's part of how we got here. Our healing journey is over a decade long. And so our current doctor is in Tampa, Clearwater, and he is Dr. David Minkoff, the creator of the Perfect Amino. And so in the environmental health world, that it's a big deal. So in terms of healing, toxicity, and things of that nature, and it's his signature product, so all of his patients are on it. Basically what it says trying to get my words right. The level of protein that you get that in terms of absorption is 99 point something percent absorbable. An egg is the next thing that absorbs as much, and then beef, and then it goes downhill from there, or meat, I should say, and then downhill from there. So we went a couple weeks ago. That's when we were in Florida. We went for our checkups, and he, for both of us, they want us to incorporate these perfect aminos back into, because we hadn't been doing them since we started with you. But on Chronometer, it's 10 grams of protein. And so
What would
10
be the
grams of
benefit?
protein?
it take in Chronometer,
Two scoops.
if you do 2 scoops of the powder or 10 of the tablets, and we're using up the powder, and then the plan was to switch to the tablets so we could get the monk fruit out because we understand that part. We're just trying to use up what we have. And monk fruit doesn't spike either of us, so we're good there. Um, but it's 10 grams of protein. So Keith has cut back to 5 grams because he's getting hungry with 10. And I'm noticing
Oh, yeah,
I
when you're saying
cannot,
cut back, let's see if I'm understanding. Are you meaning you're cutting back your carbs or you're cutting back on protein?
carbs are under 5 for both of us. So
Okay.
we don't even think about carbs anymore.
I'm at
So when you
like,
said you're cutting back on protein,
We're cutting back on protein because Chronometer assigns protein to perfect aminos.
Mhm.
So because it assigns protein to perfect aminos, we have to cut back on other protein in order to get that protein in.
so
So help me understand what would be the benefit of taking an amino
That
than
that's
just
what
eating
we're
some good
that's why we're
protein.
having a conversation.
Yes.
So
Um, Personally, I would say eat the real meat because a powdered anything, and does everybody understand this? A powdered protein of any sort is going to hit the blood and go straight into the bloodstream. And that's going to be more of a potential to increase your glucose and things from it. Maybe not, but I guess I wouldn't understand why eating the protein, why would I buy a supplement to eat the protein that I have to back off of eating to eat the supplement? I don't know. I guess
I
that's
that's because their market of people do not eat this way.
right.
So
they're
So that
not
would be
keto,
they're trying to
right?
figure a way,
Yeah.
how do you get it you when you do not discipline yourself this way?
And I understand that for somebody that would be vegan or vegetarian or something like that. But when I am laying a beautiful piece of meat on my plate and I am consuming that, whether it's liver, a steak, a burger, whatever it is, those aminos are in there.
I'm not taking any ground up protein.
So it's,
I just love the fact that we can bring our challenges and you
yep.
help us work through them because that's our mindset. We're trying
Is
to go ahead, Lance.
is it in that form? Is it a powdered pill or is it more of a liquid capsule?
No, it's either a powder or a tablet.
So
So,
not a capsule.
right.
Okay. That
So,
So either way,
then that really holds true. I mean, it's the
mhm,
same thing with the protein shakes, the protein supplements that you do
mhm.
for that people do for weightlifting. I mean,
Right.
if you're getting the real protein, you don't need a synthetic protein to do that. I mean, I would that's I mean, you got to find what works for you, but
Right. Well, and that's the thing. It doesn't appear to be working for us because we both, we've been on 2 meals a day since the beginning of June, so, and now, Keith cut back from 10 to 5 so he could get more eggs in. And so
Like
I've,
I did a test from 4 eggs to 3 eggs, and the 3 eggs is not for a big guy like me.
yep.
So I went back up to
And
four
you know what?
eggs.
And I think between Keith and Lance, when you have these guys you guys are bigger men and you are active men and you are moving and grooving, you need that muscle. You need the protein for the muscle. And again, if you can eat the protein, why in the hell would I buy it in a powder? I guess it's just that to me, that doesn't make any sense. And I had to apply that same principle. Does everybody remember back in the Juice Plus days?
yeah,
Yes.
we
Everybody
did
remember
Juice
those?
those
Plus.
little capsules.
I
Yes.
lived on them babies.
We
Those
did
Yes.
Juice Plus. Yep.
this was full of my fruit smoothie and my pockets were full of Juice Plus capsules.
Yep.
So that those capsules that you take every morning and every afternoon with the veggies and the fruits and everything in them. But again, you come back down to why would I do that if I'm getting everything I need from the real food, which is the whole goal here. Let's go back to the way God made our bodies to function,
Right.
and it wasn't on a powdered protein.
Right.
So that's why I enjoyed talking about it here because we went from a different way of eating to that way of eating, which got us closer, and now we're this way of eating, which is you eat your way to health.
Hmm.
Right.
Absolutely. And I do think that is the answer, the protocol that most of us have to walk down. And it has to fit for you. I mean, there
Right,
are
for
people that
sure.
I understand, there's just reason I have people that are just convinced they're going to die without a protein shake. Like,
Mm.
I mean, and it's like, you know what? Until you have to trust the process.
But
And
I like what Keith said. He did an experiment to
yeah,
see how it affected him, And
Right.
that's a lot of this, how it goes. Prove it to yourself,
Right.
whether it works or whether it doesn't. You
Right.
guys know how to track. You guys know how to do your numbers. Those are the things right there. You look at the markers and see how they affect you. Like you said, monk fruit doesn't bother you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can track it. You do the same thing with the aminos. You do the same
Right.
thing with anything that you want to either take away or add to where you're at. If you do it that way, prove it to yourself. And it may not work, it may work.
Right.
Another thing I look at when you're talking a supplement or anything like that, if I take something away and don't notice a darn difference,
Mm.
I mean, it takes a while to get out of your system. I will give you that.
Sure.
But
sometimes.
until that, and you still don't miss it, I mean, that's again reading your body.
Yeah.
I mean, I just seen a post by Dr. Sean Baker, and the dude is amazing.
He's a
I
beast.
mean, he's a beast. I got a man crush on this guy. He is 100% carnivore. I mean, he gets his protein the right way. He doesn't drink a shake, and this dude is stacked. I mean, he is ripped. He's just got the perfect physique. He's like, I swear he's 7 feet tall, and he's what was he? He's
He's
six seven,
six.
six
I'll
six
show you a picture.
seven. He's 245 pounds of nothing but muscle. He's 58 years old and he just looks amazing. And he just did a post on what he eats. And it's just another, if you want it,
You guys see?
that's Dr. Sean Baker.
Wow.
He's
You
a
see? He's
he's
a
a
beast.
beast.
I mean, you just stand there like, just, he's such a nice
But
guy.
he's a nice
But-
guy. I mean, he's really good.
But
But
he is not afraid to throw down a slab of beef on his tray, and
he don't do a protein shake. And it's like, I'm like, okay, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, you look at it and it's just
but you know
awesome.
one thing I will throw out, he met with Dr. Boz when he was having to have, I think it was a knee surgery or some kind of surgery he was getting ready to have, and he actually met with Dr. Boz, and she was showing him how he's carnivore, he's hardcore
Yeah.
carnivore,
Mm.
but she showed him how to get ketones in circulation, because just because you're carnivore does not mean you're
Oh,
in
wow.
Yes,
because
yes.
carnivore does not equal ketosis.
No,
Get
No.
out. I would never have had that thought,
Right. So
no.
carnivore means you eat all the meat and all the protein.
but
But
no fat.
But you still have to have
Right.
the fat to kick on the
Wow.
ketones.
Got it. Okay.
So that is where somebody as
Wow.
beefy as him, when he goes in for surgery and he wants that anti-inflammatory and he wants that healing effect to kick in, like our little Maddox, from little
Mhm.
Maddox to big Sean Baker.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's just we want ketones in circulation for the healing properties. I'm
Wow.
working on my brain health. I'm working on autoimmune stuff. I'm working on everything that we're working on to heal. Takes ketones in circulation to do that. It's not just
Interesting.
carnivore. So that is the difference of carnivore. And so that is why I always say I want you to have a carnivore mindset, because there's no place I can go that we cannot walk into and get something to eat.
Mhm.
Virtually, I mean, I've not run into any place that I can't find something, because I go in there, I can find the meat. I took the kids to Jimmy John's today. Jimmy,
Oh, there's a new thing we must
it's
speak
called a
about.
gigantus or ginormous, or
No, it's
it's a big meat sandwich.
what is it? A gargantuan. It's called an unwrapped
Unwitched.
or unwitch gargantuan.
It is just all the meat, all the meats wrapped in a lettuce wrap.
That's it.
But again, it doesn't matter if it's, my Maddox that we're trying to keep ketones in circulation, or, Sean Baker trying to do it for a surgery. It's, again, that's the difference. So it's a carnivore mindset. You can walk in any place and get something to eat. You eat the meat, add the fat, cut the crap. So we got that motto. But you got to have a keto chemistry.
Mhm.
And that comes by leading the fat.
So
Yep.
would that be example a steak and then you would put the avocado oil on top of it?
Or butter.
Yep.
Butter,
Mhm.
Yep.
cook it in ghee, cook it in,
Okay.
bacon grease on top.
Because
With-
my body loves carnivore. I did carnivore for a while.
Yep.
I didn't understand the ketone piece, but okay.
Just so you watch and make sure that you had that keto chemistry with it, because you got to watch your proteins when you're on carnivore.
Right.
Proteins
Well-
creep up and not get enough fat.
Right.
Now you're going the other way. You got to
Right.
have that fat to protein
Right.
ratio correct for you.
Right.
Okay,
So-
that makes sense. So
Mhm.
and we tracking chronometer. So if it
Yep.
goes out of whack, and what I think I mentioned this at some point in the last few sessions, we put everything in before we
The
start
day
eating.
before. Yep.
Right. So that way we know, like I made quiche this past weekend,
Oh,
'cause we had guests. And
hmm.
so there was one piece of quiche left. And I'm like, do you want it? You know, because
That might be throwdown.
Right.
and I did smoked Gouda and
Oh.
Gruyere cheeses and then
Oh,
chicken and shrimp.
Nice.
So
girl.
it was
Yeah.
really
Mm,
good.
Road trip is coming. We are getting something planned.
It
man,
was really good.
I
And
want
so,
to be in the kitchen with her.
I just want to watch.
yeah,
No, you just want to eat.
so we just, that who had the last piece of quiche determined what the other person needed to
Yep.
Gonna-
change in the
And
chronometer.
I was
Yep.
thinking that I was gonna blow my chronometer, and no,
Yep.
Yeah.
basically,
So,
basically
So
clocked out.
again, have
because
the
it's just protein and fat. The whole
yep,
dish is just protein
absolutely.
and fat. So that's
Yep.
all it is. So
And
I
that's
did
the
no
beauty
crust.
again.
Yeah.
That's the beauty
So
of keto or a carnivore mindset with the keto chemistry.
yeah.
Yep.
And that you do that by eat the meat, add the fat, cut the crap. Crap is anything that's not meat and fat.
Yeah.
So give me an example. So you go to this restaurant, you order a steak, 12-ounce, 16-ounce steak. You have to scan it to, figure out how large it is, and then you balance it out with your I'm just gonna use olive oil or your butter, and then because most of the time those steaks are large. Like I'm a big dude, I can eat a big steak, but it has to fit in my
Right.
chronometer.
So we pointed
Right.
out before we go, we know which restaurant we're going to, we know what size it's gonna be. If it's a national chain, it's already in chronometer. If it's not, we're going to Michigan in a couple of weeks to visit our daughter. So, neither one of those restaurants are in chronometer. So we'll just,
You'll
go
do the best.
generic, figure
Do
it out.
do something close. If you know
Mhm.
you're going to get a ribeye, most of the ribeyes are the same. Depends on their seasoning or what they cook it in is what's
Right.
going to throw you.
Yeah.
Most ribeyes are the same. Same thing, most steaks are that way. So
Right.
Here's a little trick too that we use. Like when we go to Longhorn or
Texas
Texas
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, anything like that. Texas Roadhouse has their hand cut steaks in the freezer or in that fridge when you first walk in there before they seat you.
The case.
If we go in there and order one jumbo ribeye, hand cut ribeye from there, it's big enough for the two of us now, and it fits pretty close in our macros. So
Mhm.
he has it down pat. He goes in, it's like you order the steak, the two Caesar salads, no croutons, extra dressing. Don't even bring the bread to the table. Two club sodas. We don't look at the menu. We don't open the menu. We don't. It's just he rattles off that order as soon as she comes to the table. It's done. And that one steak, because we get the 20 or 22-ounce ribeye, gives us each, a 10-ounce ribeye or so to eat on, and it's fine. And it is pretty close on macro. So it may not always be perfect with our fat,
But
but that's not an every night thing.
And it all depends on what you're doing at the restaurant. If it's a celebration or a time to enjoy each other, maybe you don't focus so much on the numbers right then at that
That night.
setting.
Mhm.
Prepare yourself beforehand before you get to that setting and just kind of relax and enjoy that setting. Add to your protein or add to your fat for the day, but try not to make that a focus. Maybe try to get your fats in earlier in the day and just kind of enjoy it just to add to it. That way it's because I know some of the restaurants you're not going to hit your macros on what the restaurant gives you because you're going to
Right.
have to add to them.
Well, we just bring a little mason jar that has our sour cream and mayo
Yep.
and hot sauce and
Yep.
soup for him. And we
Good
just
deal.
ask for, it to be plain, and then we layer it in. And our kids know we're weird. So
Love
um
it.
they are not even moved by, what we do. So we did it when we had breakfast with them a couple weeks ago when we were in St. Louis. And so we had our bacon and eggs and everything, and they ordered their potato bowl thing, and it was all good. So we
Good
Yeah,
just,
deal.
I love too to hear that you're doing it with your kids. And you know what? I think too, the less big deal we make of it,
Mhm,
the less everyone around you will too. And everybody acts like, oh my gosh, I can't go here and not eat like every. Yes, you
mhm.
can. We're grown
Yeah,
adults. I
yeah.
don't give in to peer pressure anymore. I'm not the teenager waiting for peer pressure to push me into it. And
Yeah.
it's, no is a complete sentence. I mean, no, thank you if you're trying to be nice, but it does not matter if we don't make a big deal about it. we can go anywhere and eat with anybody and they don't overreact and oh my gosh, what are you doing? If we just sit down and enjoy the time and make it about the people and not about the food, it
Hmm.
does. It just passes. And people, if we don't make a big deal out of it, they don't either. If
Yep.
we sit there and say, oh my gosh, I can't eat that, I can't have this, and we
Mhm.
make a production out of it, so will they.
Hmm.
Okay.
So be mindful. But I love that you're doing it with your kids and just still carrying on like you're supposed to. So I love
Yep.
it. Yep. Leading by
Good job,
example.
guys.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Is that Michelle? Come on in. Welcome. Come on in and check in. Nope, got you muted.
Yep, gotta have you unmute, touch your screen. Looks like you're on an iPhone, so
Oh,
touch your screen.
All right.
There you go.
there we go. Greetings. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I don't even know where to start. I've been in and out and up and down here. So from the
How are you on
beginning,
your journey?
uh, I'm in the midst of a 72-hour fast at the moment
Woohoo!
Nice.
because after I got back from a couple of weeks helping my sister or annoying her, one or the other, uh, she just had a major surgery and she really needed help. But anyway,
It's time to
um,
take care of you.
it is. And so I came back from that trip with tingly feet and
Mm.
frustration. So here I am doing a fast, hoping it will calm the irritated nerves down and get back into a pretty much ketovore.
Mhm.
Yep.
They just eat meat, but every
Make sure
so
you're leading with fat,
often,
especially if you're having problems with that nerve pain. Make sure you're leading and hitting those fat macros because that's what's
I'm
going to help with those
I'm not
nerves.
sure what that means. You're listening to everyone talk about that, and I'm thinking, well, do I eat a chunk of butter first? What does that? What does that
Okay,
mean?
great question. Have you taken Keto Continuum or read the book Keto Continuum?
I have read the book a
Okay.
couple.
Okay,
Um,
so what we do in that is what everybody's referring to is when you get through that, or even if over in our coaching group, if you want some help with that, we help you set up your macros. But I have a video over there that we take you through and we set up your macros for you because estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, leptin, ghrelin, thyroid, cortisol are all fat-based hormones.
I
So
understand.
yeah, so we can all do carnivore, but if we don't lead with the fat on that, then we're not getting the most benefit of the healing properties. So when I hear you talking about you got tingling in your feet and stuff, a little bit of neuropathy going on, some
Mhm.
swelling probably going on, edema
Yeah.
holding on to that, all of those things, we got to get those fats right so we can lead with the fat. So our motto in it, the easy way to think about it is eat the meat, add the fat, cut the crap. Crap is anything that's not meat and fat. So it's
Right.
just our little silly little way of thinking through it.
Uh-huh.
It's not someplace to always count calorie or count macros and things like that. So you go
Right.
over into Chronometer, you set that up, and you will be able to know what your fat macros need to be every day. And when you lead with fat, it makes it really hard to overeat on your protein
Okay.
because you'll be so full from the fat.
And by leading with fat, she means you need to have fat first. The whole basis of this is for you to become a fat burner. So you turn on your fat burning machine,
Hmm.
and you need to feed that machine fat first. So that's the goal in the whole thing. So for your body to unlock its fat cells, it's got to have fat in the system
You have to
because
ingest it.
you have to ingest it to let your body know, hey, this is a plentiful source. I can let go of some of these stores and I can actually use this stuff.
Hmm.
So that's one way to think about it. The other thing to think about is every time if you when you want to eat the meat, think of the meat as a carrier. Use the meat as a carrier for fat. So if you do have a steak, have butter on top of it, or have some good sour cream, or something like that. Hollandaise
Hollandaise
sauce.
sauce was a huge one when we first started.
Absolutely. So every bite that you have of protein, make sure you get a bite of fat with it.
Well, one thing that I thought was a way to ingest fat was putting cream in my coffee, but I don't think that's working for me anymore. There was,
Just know you're not alone on that. Most of us can't. It fits perfectly in our macros, but as soon as you add a cream, if you turn that cream around, there's usually carrageenan or guar gum in it, and those are thickening agents in the
yep,
cream. They're
yep,
thickening agents in our body. It just They don't work. What I want you to try to do is separate the fat from everything else. So if you want fat, when I say get the fat in,
Mm-hmm.
it's butter, it's ghee, it's
Okay.
bacon grease, it's beef tallow, it's
Egg
all
yolks.
egg yolks. Dip every bite of steak in egg yolk.
There's
And
one thing
just
for Keith too. Instead of doing the eggs, the egg whites, do the yolks.
get
He'll
those
Mm-hmm.
he'll
fats
fill
in.
up faster.
Yeah.
Huh.
Get those fats, but every bite of protein needs to be a spoon for fat.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, Lisa said simple truth organic heavy cream. There are certain creams out there you can watch the ingredients on them. Some of them do it, but I will promise you, the majority of us girls over 40, 50 years old dealing with hormones, dairy cream is not, it needs to be looked at as a treat. Most of us cannot take cream. It fits perfectly in my macros. I mean, I'm under 5 carbs every day. I mean,
Mm.
that is not a problem for me.
Right.
If I put that cream in every day, it's a problem.
I got away with it. I started um with Dr. Boz's books when COVID was
Mm-hmm.
kind
Yep.
of going on. And I read her books, and I had read a couple of other select authors, and I did her method, and I lost 70 pounds over the
Oh,
next two
nice.
and a half years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a journey.
Absolutely.
But in recent months, life has been so stressful, and I hate to be a whiny baby, but I'm dealing with the death of a spouse and
Oh, I'm sorry.
my other family things, and I'm
Yes.
not seeing the success that I had before. If I can get a point 0.1 ketones, I'm going, well, better than nothing, but not much.
So I'd really encourage you if there's any way you could get over into our group to help let me pinpoint those macros for you a little bit and let me
Mhm.
try to get you narrowed down because I'm telling you, if you've lost 70 pounds, you know what you're doing. That is no easy task, so I'm good for you. But I will tell you, and I promise you this, cortisol is is a game changer, and we're kind of in
Yeah.
that same boat right now. I don't know how much of our story you know, but my grandson had a seizure one night for the first time, and his we woke up the next morning and his dad had a stroke.
Ugh,
These
yeah.
are two of our keto
Me-
people in our family, and it's just one of those moments of the gut. And my mom is on hospice care,
Yep.
so
Mhm.
so it's one of
We've
those.
been gut punched pretty well this
Yep.
year. So
And we don't change, we don't jump ship, we don't do it. But I am telling you, what we
Correct.
normally do is not working because the
Hmm.
cortisol is so high. We had
Yeah.
a whole discussion in yesterday's class on sleep because, when you're stressed out and you're not sleeping and you're not
Right.
getting enough hours of sleep, we
Hmm.
talk through all of that to understand how can we fix it? What can we can't control life. We can't stop the gut punches and we can't
Right.
mend a broken heart. But
Right.
we can say, okay, what can we control and what can we do better? So it's not perfection. It's just getting your toes going in the right direction and
Yes.
taking one step at a time, one after another. That's where,
but kudos, you are
yeah,
here.
you're here and you showed
That's
up.
a
That's
step.
half the
That's a
battle.
step. It really is.
Yes. Yesterday, I had sprinklers installed in my front yard.
Woo!
So trite, but my husband and I were married 45 years,
Oh,
and he refused. He loved to stand out in the front yard and water the lawn at 4
In more ways than one.
Go figure. And so, yes, probably both. But I don't have that time or desire, so I hired someone to install sprinklers, and after they left, I watched the water flowing under the grass and just cried and cried.
oh, I'm sorry.
What
But
a ridiculous thing. Who cries about
No,
no,
it's not. It's
absolutely.
not ridiculous. That is not. That is life, and that is how you are dealing with it, and that is nowhere for anybody to say that that's ridiculous. I mean, you may don't even feel that way because that is your heart, and that meant a lot, and it would be the same way with all of us.
Yeah.
Everybody has that thing
Yeah.
that's going to
Can you
trigger it,
imagine him
but
sneaking
that
down on you getting the lawn sprinkler in? Like, yeah, she's missing me.
right.
I mean, it's just
But that's such a release for you. You
It
you
is.
just you let go of some of that
so. Here's another
pent up
thing.
whatever.
Will
It's gone now, which is good. Keep
will those lawn sprinklers ever come on that you don't look and grin? You don't get a tickle in your heart of
yep, he's watering the lawn again.
water the lawn for me. Thanks, honey. I mean, you got to take the win in it,
It's,
and
yes.
yeah, You'll do.
But in this time right now too, a lot we talk about it a lot. Sometimes it is just good enough to hold space. You know what not to do. You know
You've
what to
done the
do.
work.
You
Yes.
know that the work over here is a little bit too hard for you right now, which is okay. But I know that I don't want to do this over here. So I'm just going to
Right.
ride right here in the middle for a little bit until
And that's
everything
okay.
kind of slows down a minute and I can catch my breath.
But
And
then it terrifies me.
that's,
And I said the neuropathy terrifies
oh,
me.
absolutely. That's
As
a
it should.
definitely a attention getter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I
And
will tell you this much. My neuropathy was chemo induced from my breast cancer.
and reading your story about that was what got me here. Yeah.
And I will tell you though, the
Mm.
fat is where it's at. The fat, I am telling you, I still to this day, if I slack off my fats, which I have been, because we all start cheating and we all just quit putting it in and we quit tracking and we quit doing, again, I'll go
We get
back
a little
to,
cocky.
yeah, we get a little sure of ourselves. And reality, when we really go in and start filling out chronometer and looking at what your fat macros need to be,
Mm.
you get that rude kick of reality of I ain't even close. And I can tell you, I can tell when I'm not close because the neuropathy flares up.
Mm.
So
Oh.
know that you got to lead with the fats. You got to get those proteins right. Get that DBR nice and low. That morning DBR. Like I said, text me, call me, message me, however you want to. Let's get you into class so we can pinpoint some of that stuff and make sure you're on the right track. And then we just got to keep you focused, going in the right direction for a season.
Yes.
As that passes, we'll get you going. But you've done hard work. Now we just got to teach you how to stay slow and steady while life's happening.
And it's okay to do that.
And that's all right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome. And
Welcome
come
and
check in.
enjoy.
Message
Check
me.
in.
Yes.
The more you're around like-minded people, you can get embraced by that. So
Yeah. My sister queried me for the last 2 weeks. How can you not eat? You have to eat. You'll die if you don't eat. Eat the bread.
No. No.
don't eat the bread. Just
But-
give me the meat.
But I don't want you fasting without your chemistry being right there.
Yeah, no.
So just be careful of that.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Slow and steady.
I will put my number here in the chat.
All right.
Feel free to text me.
Thank you.
We'll talk.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Okay, who we got left? Who we got? We got
Caroline and I think Heather just
Heather
jumped in.
You know, just doing. Caroline, you want to check in?
She comes.
Hello, come on in. Oh, you're muted. Hang on. Let's get you unmuted. There
Bingo.
you go. Good job.
Hello, everyone. I finally got on. Had a bit of a. I haven't used Zoom for about 12 months and I had to do all these updates and every other thing. So get on. So thank you.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, time out. Where are you from?
Yeah.
Right,
Where?
start from the beginning. I'm from Geelong, which is about an hour from Melbourne in Australia.
Yes.
I love it.
And right now it is 10:19 a.m. on Thursday morning.
Yep.
Oh,
Awesome.
well, your accent is
So-
beautiful.
Yeah. And it's the middle of winter. It's absolutely freezing here.
Oh man.
And
California, we're at 103.
Right?
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's so weird, isn't it? Just the differences. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't sure if this was even the right time, so it's all
Good
worked
job.
out. The only problem is I'm on holidays at the moment for 2 weeks because I work at a secondary TAFE college and it's school holidays. So from the week after next, I work on Thursday mornings.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's going to work out. I mean, it's not going to work out this particular time slot. I don't know if there's something else.
We'll adjust because we are just coming in. We're in the middle of our summer right now, so we will probably adjust in the fall again. So we will do that. And then our group coaching classes are on Tuesdays, if that helps any. So I don't know if
That does help. Yeah, because I only work Tuesday and Thursday at the moment.
That
So
would
that-
be your
so
Wednesday
that would
morning.
be our
Yes, so
Okay.
that would be my Wednesday, which would work.
Correct.
Just a little bit of background. I started consistently keto, read the book, not that book, the first book, started mid-June, on my birthday, which was the 16th of June. And just there's been a lot of life happening since then. So I was doing really well. And then I got the flu, like the actual influenza virus,
Oh my.
which I haven't had for, a decade, which developed into bronchitis.
Of course it did.
And I'm before this, I was pretty much vegetarian. So all the talk about meat and liver, I had to leave the room because I thought I was going to.
I feel for you because I was
Girl.
vegetarian for years too. So I'm your little
Really?
sister right here. I'm telling you, I could
Oh,
not eat a steak if my life depended on it. My joke right now is if my ex-husband could see the meat that I eat right now, he will die. We had more fights over, I'm taking you to the best damn steakhouse there is, and you're ordering a salad.
Oh,
Like,
well,
now I go in and order a side of beef.
I can't imagine doing that. I might get there one day, but still got a little tin of sardines in the cupboard, which I
Okay.
try not to look at. Because with being unwell, it's really put me off my food. And so the carbs have crept back in, not the sugar. And I know carbs create sugar in the body. Like I've spent years researching all of this stuff and done every single diet under the sun. So sourdough, whole grain, really expensive bread has crept back in because I could only eat soup. And I was so weak. A girlfriend came over and I was just about ready to collapse. And she goes, "You have to eat something." So that has crept back in, but I haven't picked up again. And I'm a pure sugar addict. Like my carbs were well over 200.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So I have made some really amazing changes, which I've kept. Still got a long way to go. In the meantime, 3 days ago, my mum, who's 88, was rushed to hospital in an ambulance, and she's got pneumonia.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, so and a lot of families stress around that, going into the hospital every day. So I'm literally just taking it hour by hour, and I've got some chicken fillets in the fridge, which I'm really hoping to cook for dinner tonight. And I've had a
Can
healthy
you do chicken?
breakfast.
Is chicken set well okay with you?
Yes,
Okay.
chicken's all right with me. I have tried to eat steak. It has to be really, really, really well done
Oh my.
before I can eat it. If there's any red bits, there's just no way.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Trust me, that will
Yeah,
get easier and better. I promise you, that does get easier. As your microbiome changes, your taste buds will change, and so will what
okay.
you can digest will change. I remember thinking if I ate steak, I felt like it laid in my gut for a month. Like I
Yeah.
just felt like it would be there next month at this time, that meat would still be laying there. So just know as your microbiome changes, so does your taste buds, and so does how you're digesting that meat happen. So what you are right now will be different as you quit feeding the microbiome that wants all those veggies and the fruits. When you quit feeding them and we start growing the stuff that's going to digest your proteins, that's going to help you. But that will be a journey. So if you need to start with chicken, but no, it's a leaner protein. So you're going to need to add more fat. So you're just going to start out with those chicken cutlets. That's fine. But you're going to have the chicken, but you're going to make sure you add the egg yolks, the butter, the beef tallow, some bacon grease, some bacon with it, whatever. But make sure you're starting to add those fats with it until you're going to make this nice little slow change. You're not just going to drop down from 200 carbs a day down to 20. We're going to start making baby steps going in the right direction. And as you can swap those things out and you stop feeding the vegetarian stuff all the time and the vegetables and the fruits all the time, that protein, your body's going to say, hey, bring it on.
It'll wake up.
It will. And I promise you, I went from being complete vegetarian to I can eat a
Chicken throw down with the
throw down
best
a
of them.
steak now. I can hang with the big boys in a steak. So
Raw steak on a plate. That's encouraging. Thanks, Tammie.
you will
Yeah,
get
I will get there. I seem to be okay with mince. I can make that into add a bit of onion and garlic and make it into a burger. I seem to be able to handle that. So yeah, I'll get there.
You will get there, and
Yep.
just keep bringing those carbs down. And I know for
Yeah.
those of us that lived on the fruits and the veggies and we truly believed in that, please know as you start getting over, if you've read through Dr. Boz's books, you know we use the Keto Mojo to check your numbers and everything. They are going to prove to you, and I'm telling you, it's not to prove it to us or me or anybody else. It is to prove it to yourself what those veggies are truly doing to you. And that's a hard one to swallow.
Yeah, just with that, so I purchased, because I've got high blood pressure
Mhm.
and I'm on literally 15 different medications for various health conditions. One of them's
Ooh.
hypothyroidism, and a lot of them are mental health. But I bought this blood pressure monitor because Dr. Boz really emphasizes that if you have a serious psychiatric condition, you must do this under the care of a psychiatrist, because you'll need to monitor your blood pressure and your meds and all of that. So I haven't been able to get that organized. So that's made me a little bit nervous.
Okay.
And I went on to a site called Low Carb Down Under, and I thought I was buying a glucose monitor, and for $100, all I got was this sensor.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, God, I literally, and I haven't been able to work because I've been sick, and I literally can't spend any more money. So I've got the ketone strips.
Okay,
I don't
then if
even
you
know
have
what
that, you have that Libra meter and you have the ketone strips, you can do that. We can figure that out by using up what you have.
Yes.
We can do
Okay.
that. So you'll put the Libra on, but I wouldn't put it on until we get your macro set and see where are you really at right now and where do you need to go? How fast can we bring you down? And when you put that Libra on, you're going to be able to see those trends, and then you'll just add in the ketone strips if you have that. If you have the ketone strips, then you'll be able to bring those two numbers together, and you're going to be able to see what's working and what's not.
Definitely wait to use them until you got a plan.
Yeah.
And then when you
Don't waste that.
don't waste those, because
Okay.
every little piece of bit of information that you get is important. So
Yep.
get with her to come up with a plan. Once you have that plan set up,
Yeah.
then you put the pieces and then use the tools together to get where you need to go.
We'll get you going in the right direction.
Yep.
You know, we got to get those carbs down first. Then, you
Yeah.
know, once we clean up the big cleanup, then we can come in and start pinpointing. Then you put that Libra meter on. It's going to show you trends. It's going to show you the spikes of what each food is doing to you. And it convinces us, those of us that were vegetarian, that had a whole different mindset of food and meat. When you see the data, the numbers don't lie. So, you know, it's not because I just want to follow Dr. Boz, or it's not because I just want to follow Dr. Barry or Dr. Baker or anybody. Or I used to do Fit for Life. Does everybody remember the Fit for Life book?
Yep.
I
My
lived.
dad rocked that out.
did.
That's why he's 85.
He's the one that's got me started on it 30 years ago. But it was one of those, I lived that. I mean, it was just, I love that. So when you start tracking those numbers and you start watching the trends of, okay, I eat this and my body does this. When you could see that, now it's not because I just love me some Dr. Boz. It's because I know what
That
those fruits
works.
and veggies are doing to me and what this meat and fat is doing to me. I see it day after day after day. I prove it to myself day after day after day. That is why I went from being vegetarian to hardcore carnivore, and I will never go back because I can't imagine what my glucose was doing when I carried one of these around 24 hours a day
She's not lying.
with a fruit smoothie. We had a fitness studio and a dance studio. We had a
Oh, wow.
Vitamix at the dance and fitness studio and a Vitamix at home so that I could teach everybody how to how to hide their yucky veggies in a fruit smoothie and drink that all day long. So can you imagine what everybody's glucoses were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
can't
can.
even, I owe some big apologies. I mean, but you will get there, and proving it to yourself is exactly what you'll need to do. You'll
Okay.
in your
I
mind.
think I need to go right back to the very, very beginning, because
Absolutely.
I didn't quite clean out my pantry.
That
I almost did, and it still looks it still looks messy and overcrowded. And so I think I need, between now and next week, I'd like to be accountable for cleaning out the pantry, taking a before and after photo.
Absolutely. Put it over are you over in our big group? The Healthy
Yeah.
Families Begin at Home?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that
Post
over
the
there.
picture over there. I want to see it. And just
Yeah.
know, you will ask all the veterans over here. Once it's truly cleaned out and you're truly on this path, you will look homeless like you have no food. My kids open up the fridge and it's like Nana's house has no food because there's
Right.
meat, eggs, a little bit of cheese, and
Yeah.
my heavy
That's it.
cream. That's all that's in our fridge. Like we got this big, huge fridge and there's nothing in it. My other kids, I have one set of kids that do it and one set that don't. When the kids that come over that don't do it, they come in carrying grocery bags. Because if they want Nana to cook for them, they better bring it because it's not in
Yep.
my house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
there's one of the steps that I think we were talking to Michaela about setting your foundation correctly.
yeah,
That's an
Yeah.
important part of setting your foundation is cleaning out that cupboard. That's a big mindset shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially if you're a sugar addict.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like a smack in the face to get through.
Again,
So
I don't know if have you done Dr. Boz's brains course?
Oh, God.
No, gosh, it's so expensive. No,
Okay.
I'm broke just from paying $800 to do the first one and then thinking I can't do this. There's too much meat.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I teach her brains course as well, and I give all my coaching
Oh,
clients a big discount. So I will
okay.
let you know when we go to do that again. But just know that brains course, the brains of addiction is what we're dealing with. So if you are a true sugar addict and a food addict, we have to break those brains in of the addiction and heal your brain from that. So if we don't clean out your cabinet and get that foundation laid properly, when that addiction comes knocking in a couple weeks, and it's not if, it's when, because it
Yeah.
will. When life throws you another gut punch or whatever happens, you are going to fall back to what you know worked for you. And that's where the addiction comes in. The addiction does not matter if it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, or carbs and sugar. You're going to fall back to your comfort when you're looking for dopamine. So just know I'll keep
Yeah.
everybody posted when we do the brains course because I love that course. I honestly believe the brains course mixed with ketosis is why I have a bottle after 18 years of Oxycontin, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have a bottle of Oxycontin in there in my medicine cabinet that I have no desire you'd have to hold me down to ever put it back in me. I have no desire, but I did the brain work along with breaking the addiction of my body being dependent on it. So I never abused it. I never crushed it, never snorted it, never got to the end of the month and was short 5 pills or nothing like that. I took it as prescribed or less than, but my body was still just as addicted. My body was still
Yeah.
dependent. I mean, we'd be sitting at the table and he'd look across the table and would say, "It's time for your meds," because I would get that bloodshot, clammy, sweaty, gross.
I could tell when it was time for her meds just by
And
looking at her.
and
It's
it would,
bad.
I mean, we could set our clock by it. And so your body is that dependent. So that's the same way with the addiction for the carbs and the sugar, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You've got to
I
go.
understand that. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson and Bright Line Eating. So I did her program for a year.
Nice.
And that's about food addiction and the science behind it. So I
So
fully
you're familiar with
understand
it.
that.
Good.
Sorry.
So you're familiar with food addiction then in the brain.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yes.
And I know, like I'm really struggling. Like I've given up fruit. I don't want to hold up everyone's time. I think poor Lenny's fallen asleep. I
No,
have
that's
struggled.
he's normal.
Is it? Hi, Lenny.
We're all family here. It's all good.
So yeah, so I have not been able to give up berries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. I'm spending a fortune on berries. Because I can't get through the day with, with the meat and whatever without finishing it off with some berries. So I know I'm eating too many berries, but that's part of the addiction, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just know this too. If you get over in our coaching course, when we talk through that, we will talk you through what are you looking for in those berries? What kind of dopamine response are you looking for? You're looking for something when you go to the berries. So when you're looking and you're crashing, does everybody know that how you work through an addiction? When it starts hitting you, you really sit down, fight it, get your journal out, get a pen out, and start writing. What are you looking for? You're looking for dopamine, but are you bored? Are you lost? Are you lonely? Are you ticked off? Are you just tired? Are you just annoyed with somebody? Are you missing somebody? What's going on? Find dopamine in a way that does not stimulate. It's berries are just giving you a buzz that you need, that you're looking for. So find the
Yeah.
buzz somewhere else. You know, find something else you thoroughly enjoy and let that be a win. And just we'll break those addictions one at a time. Um, having still having berries. Berries are hard. They are, especially when you hear people talk about, well, blueberries aren't that bad or blackberries aren't that bad. Here's the bad part. They're not that bad if you don't have an addiction. But if you have a sugar addiction, berries are awful because berries are nice and sweet and yummy. So
That's
you
a
are
switch.
so it's
That's
kind
a
of
switch for this guy.
it's the same concept of taking you would never take your alcoholic friend to a bar and say, just have a light beer, it'll be okay. Or just have a little bit of wine, you'll be all right. Mm-mm. You would not do that because you love your
And
friend and you wouldn't say, go have the alcohol. Those berries are that little bit of wine.
and for Caroline, it's gonna be a whole shift, a whole dynamic shift that's coming, and it's a process, and that's why it's a journey. That's why we call to it, refer to it as a journey because you're going to be taking a journey when you accept it. So there'll be things that you're doing now that you won't do down the road because you'll find out that it doesn't work. So don't beat yourself up, but still be mindful because there's going to be a lot of information thrown at you and your head will spin, you know. Just don't want to get anybody distracted or discouraged early.
Yeah. And just know that is exactly why we call, our company is called The Journey to Healing, Mind, Body, Spirit, and Home, because it all ties together. Whether if your mind is nice and strong, but my body's feeling weak, or our house is a wreck because we've had kids in and out with different groceries, we need to work on the home. But you know what? Showing up for Bible study, go meeting with our church people, getting just getting your head going in the right direction, focusing on the Lord, getting your toes going in the right direction. All those things tie all together with your health journey.
Yep.
So it's not it's such a multi-level. It's the same thing as when our kids were little, we used to say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. What are you surrounded by in your home, your church, your family?
Your
You'll get
table,
there.
everything.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I live alone. I just have a cat. I've got an adult daughter, but
Well, there you
she's
go. Easy enough. The
she's
cat will
married. So
even do the sardines.
I don't I don't have any grandchildren yet. So yeah, so that's probably good. But
I'll
none
write
of
you a couple.
send them over on a plane. Yeah, but I haven't really told any of my friends. The poor friend that saw me when I was sick and said, you've got to eat some carbs.
You gotta
I
eat some
told
bread.
her, and she's going, this is why you're sick. Like,
No.
yeah, but
Bread has
anyway,
never
so
saved anybody, so just know that. Bread is not
pardon?
the answer.
Sorry, I
Right.
missed that.
No, bread is never the answer for food.
Isn't it? Oh,
No,
I think that's gonna. I was so proud of myself when I went 2 weeks without any bread.
right? You'll
And
make
then
it
she went
longer
and
than that.
bought me
I used to
bread,
make
and
homemade sourdough bread every week. That was
Mm-hmm.
I had my own little starter
Yep.
dough that I had since my kids were
Man,
little.
Yep.
Like I've had this for decades. My same little starter that I babied like my child.
not no more.
Not no
I
more.
know.
It
The
was hard.
freezer, it's going in the bin.
It's awful. It's like giving up a child because I
Yep.
Yeah.
truly loved and
Yep.
cared for my starter dough. We'd have a
Yep.
babysitter for the dog or the kids, but I needed a babysitter for my starter dough too when I'd go away.
Yep.
But you know what? I've proven it to myself so many times. It's a treat. I'll make a batch on Easter or a batch at Christmas or something like that, and I do not make it the rest of the year. Forget it.
I don't miss it.
I mean,
The bloated feeling I used to get when I eat bread, I don't miss that. I really don't.
and once you start losing that inflammation, once everything starts turning around and you start feeling better, you notice the things that make you feel like crap. You notice the things that flare up my neuropathy or my feet swell,
Oh,
or my
I'm
rings don't
sorry.
fit. When I get too bloated, I jump backward. I blow up like a blowfish. I mean, you guys can look back through my videos and tell when I'm doing well and when I'm not because I blow up like a blowfish. I mean, I struggle and it's usually stress, sleep, because we don't jump ship on our food very often. I
And when
mean,
we do, it's kind of funny because it hits you like, man, that hurt,
that was
or that
rough.
didn't feel good, or man, I'm off today. You know what I
We'll
mean?
share with you one thing we did over the weekend. For the 4th of July weekend, we allow ourselves a fruit. We're both fruit people. So we allow ourselves fruit salad for the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, that was a headache.
I had a little bowl on Friday and maybe just a few bites on Saturday. My glucose, until yesterday of doing sardines for the 2 days,
Yep.
my glucose was 117.
Mm.
Within 2 days now with having sardines, I got it back down to 1 or to 88. But I am telling you, just a
Just a
day,
treat
a
factor.
treat of saying, I'm going to have my yearly bowl of fruit salad. I love it. I miss it. That is one thing I miss, but I can't do it. And my rings are too tight. I just feel stuffed. My clothes feel too, I just over a fruit salad. It wasn't like we jumped ship and had 15 other things. We had fruit salad, a small bowl, not a ton. But it's just one of those things you will learn every one of those little things that I don't like feeling like this. My heart rate starts going back up. I feel my blood pressure back up. I can feel when I walk up the steps, my heart rate variability, I don't recover fast enough. All of that just because I get so inflamed from a bowl of fruit salad. So you will learn all these things.
And
That is why it's a journey.
there's one thing too in that you'll start paying attention to your body. Start listening to your body because your body will tell you the direction it needs to go. And whatever direction that is, you'll hear it from your body. I mean, Michaela's new, Caroline's new, Michelle, the same way. Just make sure that you're in tune with that because when you change something, you need to listen to how it affects your body. And your body will tell you that. It'll either feel good or it won't. And you'll get that determination, but that needs to guide you as well as your numbers and as your tracking and that kind of thing. So just the simpleness of listening to your body.
And I know everybody, we all curl our nose up and make the jokes about sardines and stuff like that, but I've probably learned more about myself and my own chemistry from those silly little fishes than anything else I could do because it teaches you how much in 2 days of eating sardines and closing my eating window early, my glucose was back down under 100 where it should be, under 90 where it should be. All of that just tells me what I'm putting in my mouth is what's making my glucose bad in the morning. So if it's too much glucose, stop putting it in. And I don't care if that glucose is from a Snickers bar or a bowl of blueberries. Stop putting it in. And when I can tell that to myself on repeat of stop being stupid. I know what fruit salad does to me. Now, guess what? I really hope next July 4th I do not want a bowl of fruit salad.
I think that really got through to my dad because he was changing up his diet. He's had, the stroke and he's trying to get the artery cleaned out, this kind of thing, and he wants to change it with diet. I mean, he's very good at doing that. And when he was on the Fit for Life, he was doing the vegetables and the fruit, and he did very well at that. But that was a big change from what he did before. So he took a step in the right direction. Maybe not the direction that he now knows of because he was keto there for a while. But he was talking about going back to the fruits and vegetables. And I said, Dad, I said, glucose is glucose. It doesn't matter if it comes from a candy bar or if it comes from fruit. It's the same thing, glucose. So if you're going to have your grapefruit and your apple in the morning, you might as well have a Snickers bar and a bag of Doritos. And he just kind of looked at me, and I think it finally registered to him that, yeah, those are good, but they're not good for what I want to do. So, and it's all in what he wants to do. I mean, he's 85. I have no way to speak into what he's done because he's awesome. I mean, my dad's just my hero. But he's done so many good things that and he's still learning. So,
But he's 85 years old, works circles around 50-year-old men.
oh yeah, he still goes out and mows 7 acres. I mean, he's 85 years old. He mows 7 acres. He
Chopping wood. And,
goes out and
yeah.
cuts firewood for fun. I mean, I just love the dude. But
it's just to understand, it's a process.
yeah,
It is a process that we all have to take one step at a time, and we have to lay that solid foundation. We have to move forward. It's hitting those macros, growing that chemistry, and the whole goal in this is to build tomorrow's cells with the building blocks that we're putting in today. So when we have cellular turnover, all your cells turn over every 1, 2, 3 months, different time frames, but every 3 months you get new cells. I want next month's cells to be healthier than today's cells. I want next month's cells to build me a better health path, a better journey. I want to know my health is going in the right direction because the alternative to that is I'm going in the wrong direction, which
don't
means
be pointing at me.
I meant down. I'll be going down. I'm going in the wrong direction. And we've got to keep that journey going forward. That's all we can do is keep building health and going forward. That's the best way to fight it. I mean, if I ever had to fight cancer again, this is exactly what I would do. I would not feed it with the bowl full of blueberries every morning. I would eat the meat and add the fat. That is exactly what I do because I believe in this that strongly. Of it, you
Well,
got
have you got
to.
any? Yeah, Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Have you got any suggestions for breakfast?
Mhm.
I wake up in the morning really hungry because I stop eating at 6
Nice.
p.m. So what I'm having at the moment, and it's part of being addicted, I think, is these keto-friendly pancakes. So they're made of almond flour, eggs, and then you just
I just reach out and hug you right now and say, just go to your kitchen right now while we're all waiting for you and throw it away and
why?
come
No,
back and check in.
just wait a minute. So I have that with Greek yogurt and berries, and that gets me through until lunchtime.
Yeah, and then you bottom out because you just ate 10 tons of sugar and your body went, whoo, what are you doing? And it drops out a bunch of insulin. Now you go down and you drop and you're starved and famished and you don't feel good. And now you got to eat again and bring that sugar back up because everything's dropping out. Can I
But
give you a
I'm
suggestion?
hungry.
I
Okay, but
will
I'm
get you
hungry.
full. I will get you full. But go to your
All right.
kitchen right now and throw those pancakes away.
Well, they're not made.
Go to your
They're
kitchen.
not made. I've already eaten them.
Go throw them away. Do not eat them tomorrow. I want you to wake up tomorrow and I want you to have the
Okay.
eggs. I want you to have eggs. I want you to
I
have bacon.
can't. I literally cannot stomach eggs first thing in the morning, and I wake up super. I even wake up during the night. I'm so hungry.
Okay. There are things in your tummy that will make I was the same way, so I feel your pain. Please
Can you
understand.
do?
I
Can you?
could not eat eggs in the morning. They would make me nauseous. I could eat them at lunch, but if I ate them in the morning, I would be sicker than a dog. So
Yeah.
tomorrow morning, can you eat bacon?
Yeah, easier than eggs. Yeah.
Okay. Have some bacon. Can you eat butter?
Yeah.
Okay. Put some big old fatty butter in your coffee,
Your chicken.
your chicken. I don't care. Bacon, chicken, butter, um, hollandaise sauce. If you can make hollandaise sauce with butter and egg yolks, try that because combining it with the butter will
Oh,
set easier
yeah.
in your tummy.
And put that on your chicken. Use your chicken as a carrier to get fat in you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You,
then, maybe the Greek yogurt, but not the berries.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You will get there, but
Just
we got
you're
to get
you're
the
going to
fat.
transition slow,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
have to you have to lead with the fat. The almond flour is no go.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought that was all right.
No.
That tells me
I
you're
love
not using chronometer
I
because
love almonds. I love almonds, just regular raw almonds. That's not
Yeah.
good either.
Caroline,
Okay.
please go over to journeytoketo.com and get in our classes before next Tuesday because I want to get in and get your chronometer set up so I can show you um exactly where your sugar and carbs are coming from.
All right.
And
I've got the Cardometer app set up, but I stopped using it when I got sick.
don't stop using it because it is going to be your compass. It is
All
going to
right.
guide you and it is very important. And that tells me you're not using it because if you would put almond flour in there, you would know exactly what those pancakes are doing and they're awful. You can
Okay.
have a 20-ounce ribeye or a whole chicken. You could have a stick of butter with a whole chicken beside it and have that all day long and not have as many carbs as you're going to have in those pancakes that you're starting your day off on a sugar buzz.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a real smack in the face.
I know. Well,
I'm
I'm
so
teasing
sorry.
you. I don't mean to
But
give you a hard
I'm
time.
never coming back.
but do you understand what she's saying when
Yes, I do. I do. I
because that
understand. And that's why I thought
that
I'm just going to come out there and say it. I'm going to get
okay.
shot down.
Because
No.
that glucose goes up and you're actually you're feeding your sugar machine, but your sugar, if you've ever built a fire, built a campfire, anything like that, your sugar burns like a pine log. It burns really quick and it's gone really
Kindling.
quick. It's like kindling, where when you switch your body over to burn fat, your fat burns like a nice cherry log or a nice oak log. It burns low and slow and just continuous, and it keeps it going there, and you get that energy, and it lasts longer. So you don't get that up and down and up and down. You get that steady through
Slow
the
and
day.
steady.
So if you can think about it that way, the more fat you get in, it's going to sustain you longer. You won't be as hungry as quick, and you won't need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You may need lunch and dinner. You may need breakfast and lunch. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
cut your meals down to at one point, you'll get down to one meal a day. And
That's a time
really
though. That's a step.
that's a progression that you'll get to later on down the road, but that should be a goal at some point, is to get to that one meal a day to where you can eat once, be done, and it sustains you for that whole 12 hours.
Yes.
So, I mean
That's
that
the goal, is getting you primed and getting your chemistry primed and ready for that. So I put the group link over there to go get into that group link if
in
you
the
can.
chat.
And it's in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
And that is
Yeah.
how we can help you get your toes going in the right direction.
Just trying
All right.
I'm just trying to soften up that she gave it.
Yeah, yeah, I really, really appreciate that. I'm so, so sorry. My phone is going off. There's
You're
people calling
fine.
me about my mum.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to have to go, but I will get that link.
Message me and I'll help you.
Yes. Get in that group too.
Lovely to meet everyone. I'm
Love to
so
meet
sorry. I'm going to just cut and
No,
run.
prayers,
Fine.
prayers for your mom.
Praise for your mama.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
All right. Come
Bye,
on in,
everyone.
Heather. Come and tell us how you guys are doing. Come check in. How's my girl?
Hi.
I'm worried about her. How's she doing?
It's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not doing so well. Um, yeah, this has been a tough week. Last week, I think I told you that we went to Montreal and there was not as much sleeping and she was eating sugar and stuff. So I don't think her body was able to handle that kind of change. And so yeah, she's not doing so well this week. I don't, I know she's going to eventually, when she comes down from what she's dealing with, she's going to have to reevaluate what she wants to do. But it affects the whole family. I think I've told you the guys this before,
Absolutely.
and it affects me and it's not an easy illness to deal with as part of our family. You can't get away from it, and it's like just something we have to deal with. So, um, I had some, for me personally, I had bone broth this morning, soup. I've been having that with like egg and a little bit of zucchini in it for breakfast, which I really like. And then I'm having like a sausage with a little bit of sauerkraut and mustard, and then some lettuce covered in olive oil. So I feel like I'm eating those meals well, but then when it's coming to the evening, I think because of the exhaustion and what's been going on, um,
Get the munchies.
had I had some, what did you say?
I said you get the munchies, don't you?
Yes. And then I had some homemade ice cream that I made, keto ice cream. And um and I don't think I put anything bad in it. I put a few berries that were sliced up besides the berries, but I did make some because I was experimenting with that. But I feel like when I was doing well, I wasn't needing the evening anything in the evening. So I think it's just body being tired and stressed out, and then me looking for dopamine, if I'm honest, of some, and I had a bakery for 5 years and I was like the chef, or I wasn't the chef. I had chefs working for me, but I would be the person who would come up with all the recipes. So for me, when I cook, it is a bit of a stress relief. And I think that that's more of what I was doing. I was like experimenting with like, I wonder how keto I can make this, And of
Absolutely.
course I had to taste it. So I did have that this evening. But yeah, I think this is just our life. Like I don't know if it's ever going to go away. I hope it does. But it made me wonder about number one, like the brains course that you do. Is it something that can control it? Because it is such a severe disease that she has. I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, a couple things I hear you saying, and I know, Heather, the stress that's on your lap right now as a
Hmm.
mama and as trying to lead in your family. So our hugs and prayers are with you, first
Yeah,
of all.
absolutely.
I
Thank
guess
you.
trying to push you forward, and if I could pick point a little some things for you, if you want me to pick it a little bit. Um, the soup, when you're saying the just the things that you listed off that you eat, it doesn't sound like anything's horrible. But I will tell you, when we're in those moments of stress in life and things like that, the more you just named more things off in one day than we probably eat in a month or a week at
Oh,
least. Just because that much variety, that many decisions, I would double up. This is just input, so take it for what it's worth. Um,
okay.
make a whole lot of whatever meat you're eating, have it cooked and ready. If you like the sausage, have the sausage cooked and ready. If you like the bone broth, have your bone broth cooked and ready. Have everything sitting there and ready, and double up on those big things that are not adding to your carbs, adding to the sugar,
Mm-hmm.
adding to the dopamine that you're looking for. So,
The other thing I would do is add more fat to it
yeah.
because watch, especially with your oils, you can use your oils to your benefit because they are high in fat. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure that if you're doing your sausage, do it with some oil too. Maybe move it
Mm-hmm.
from your salad to your meat and take away from the salad a little bit.
Okay.
You're not, it's empty stuff that you're getting. You might as well put protein and fat together
Yeah.
and get your fire more sustained for the evening that's coming up. You know that you're going to probably be a little stressed and might need a snack or something like that. The more
Mm-hmm.
once you understand that and know that, you know that it might be coming. Why don't I prepare for it before it gets here?
Those brown butter bites make a great snack.
Yep.
Brown butter bites will work on your fats.
A little bit of bacon.
A little bit more, instead of the empty calories and empty nutrient. Lettuce is nothing. The zucchinis that you're having are nothing. All those things are adding carbs, but they're not adding nutrition. So I guess if you're still looking for food and you're still hungry, you're still searching, go for the food that's going to give you the nutrition.
Make that bite count.
Yeah, get the brown butter bites, have the extra fats, do the egg yolks, do the, whatever you can do. If you make the homemade ice cream, do the heavy cream with the egg yolks in it, do
Yeah.
where it's
I did
really
have that, but I shouldn't have been eating it after work. I think
great.
part of it is I normally exercise in the evening and I didn't exercise.
I
Like I
was
said,
gonna
it's a lot of nervousness. Like I have a lot of nervous energy over what's going on. And then
I
there's a
was
lot of
gonna
people
ask I was gonna ask
contacting me.
I was gonna ask if you're like outdoorsy or anything, maybe go take a walk or
I
something.
typically do that, and that's what I
Yeah,
didn't do. And then yesterday I didn't sleep at all. And then the night before, like it's been a number of days of not sleeping because of what's going on. So I
absolutely.
feel like um, I'm a cortisol type of girl. I feel like when I have cortisol, I'm definitely a stress eater, but it's better than it has been in the past, for sure. So, and I'm kind of come accustomed to it because we're going on year 4 with having this, and it is getting better every single year. And so it's just like I said, it's just something that we as a family we just have to deal with when it comes that time of year. Or something goes off kilter and it makes the situation bad.
Absolutely.
I know some of the people don't know my situation. I'll just tell very quickly. My child has a mental health issue, and so we were trying to control it, and it was being in control. But then, when we went on vacation, and there was a lack of sleep, and then eating sugar because she's been on keto as well. She ignored she didn't want to do the keto when she was on vacation, and she was eating whatever she wanted with her cousins. Then it went haywire, and so now she's in the hospital. So that's kind of what happens. I don't think she's as bad as she's been previous years, but it's still bad. It's still really like scary because her condition is really like a severe form of it, like very severe. So I'm like, this is, it's happened so many times. I kind of know what to do. So it's not something that I'm like freaked out by, but I'm not happy about it because I felt like it was really controlled before we went away. And it made me realize like I can't go on vacation with her anywhere. I can't have her thrown off of her schedule. She has to eat consistently. She has to sleep consistently.
Okay.
And
But
that's it.
take that as a blessing.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
That's a lesson learned. That's facts that you know that you've proven to yourself, that she's proven to herself, that you can go to her and say, look, you felt this much better and this worked doing this. Not that it's a punishment. This opens up things to where now you feel good all the time. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
too, as you present it to her, and I can't wait to get to talk to her. So please, if she gets a moment that she feels like talking, please have her call me
Well,
directly.
she's not doing well enough. She's not like yeah, she's not doing well enough.
Or
She's
when
in
she
Okay.
a,
is, just know it's
yeah.
a standing invitation to please have her
Okay,
call me
I'll tell
directly.
her that when she's
Um,
better, maybe in like 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
Okay.
whenever
Whenever
that's
that
great.
is.
Mhm.
But just know, I mean, it's those kind of things that, the seizures or anything like that, most of us are doing this for major health issues. And I think that is where, Maddox and his seizures right now, it is making us stay focused of, you know what, that fruit salad wasn't worth it. That fruit
Yeah.
salad was a big lesson for us this time. So for Ariana, getting her to understand, first of all, we're not doing this to her. We're doing it with her to uplift her and help her feel better. And I think
Yeah.
those kind of things, and her understanding that she's learned a big lesson, and now when she's able to reason again and to accept, and hear it, that it's like, you were doing really good until we changed some we changed some actions, and now we're going to learn how to not do that again. How can we grow better? How can we move forward in this and manage this and learn from our mistakes this time? Because that was a big learning curve, and kind of do the wow, that was a big change. Because I mean, 2 weeks ago she was going out with her friends, she was getting compliments at work, she was being social, she was getting on camera, she was doing all the things. But wow, look what happens when we just reintroduce that sugar, when we stop
And
sleeping, when
I
we
hate
stop.
to say it, but we all touch that stove and we all know it's hot, but we still touch it anyway. So
We do.
Your reaction going
she
back.
has a bigger reaction. That's it. It's not any different than any of us, but
We all.
we just the reaction is a lot different. But we
Listen,
all touch that
right.
stove.
I mean, I'm 50 and I still want to eat berries when I'm stressed out. I don't even need to have a few. Just
Absolutely.
a few of them makes me feel better. I could just have a few and I feel like I got that out.
So can
So,
we all listen to that lesson though? We
no,
all
it's
have that
hard.
addiction. So it
Yeah, I
doesn't
have the
matter
PhD.
what we're
Hmm.
doing or what our vice is. It's the
Hmm.
same thing that we're trying to do as parents, that it's like, you know what? We have to lead by example. I mean, if we've said it once, we've said it 15 times in the last 2 days of, if we expect Maddox to do this at 12 years old,
Yeah.
we have to do it. We have to lead by example. I don't get to go have the fruit salad because it sounds good right now. That fruit salad will not be back in my house. I can guarantee you that. I mean, it's gone. It will not be back. I'm not dealing with that again. And now that I can't do it for myself all the time because I would cut myself slack, but I can do it for him.
So I keep having people asking me, are you doing carb cycling? I just had
No,
somebody ask me
no.
this, a
Why?
doctor.
No,
They said, that's what you're supposed to do. You
no,
go up and down, like you go in and out of it. And I was like, yeah, like I think like once or twice a year you're supposed to do that. They're like, no, I think you're supposed to do it like every other month.
no.
And so
Because
I'm like,
how long does it take you to get your liver cleaned out to where you can see your morning glucose is down under 100, down under 90? How long does it take you to get that liver cleaned out so that you're getting decent numbers? So if you worked on that for a month, okay, now this is my weekend. I'm going to cycle out of it for a weekend, and it's going to take me the next 3 months to clean the liver back out. Why would I do that to undo the work that I've just done?
You're adding more stress to your body.
Once you're metabolically flexible and healthy, that's the goal we're all trying to get at. But until you're there, I mean, there ain't no way in hell. I mean, I would feel like I was beating my head against the wall to go and carb cycle back and put the carbs back in. I mean, mm. And I know there's people that can do it, and there's people that have good luck with it. I just don't think I'm healthy enough to carb
yeah,
cycle.
I think it's like people who don't have any medical issues and
Right.
they're super healthy and they have nothing and they can do that. Right.
But for the brain health, the ketones in circulation and that glucose low, that is brain health. In the brains course that I'm telling you about, yes, that is what it teaches you. And it doesn't, the whole caveat when you go through all the modules in the brains course, when it's going to talk about alcohol, what does alcohol do to the brain? Oh my gosh, it swells the brain, it causes all this stuff. Oh my gosh, if you have a TBI and a brain injury, what does that do to the brain? Oh my gosh, that swells the brain all up, causes all these injuries. Oh no, if you did drugs, oh my gosh, if you got a meth addict, what happens? The brain gets swelled, you got gray matter in there. All these things, you go down through this whole journey of what all of these trauma things do to your brain. Medications, what does 18 years of Oxycontin do to your brain? It's awful. So you see what all these things do to your brain through the course, and you get down to the end of it. Guess what carbs and sugar do?
The exact same thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
The same thing as a TBI, as the alcohol, as the drug addiction, as sex, drugs, rock and roll, all of it. A head injury. How many people have had a TBI? How many guys played football that got their bell rung? They didn't get knocked out. They didn't have to go to the hospital, but they just got their bell rung. I mean, how many of us have had accidents? I mean, my brother whacked me upside with a baseball bat once that I had a goose egg on my, kind of thing. How many of those things, when you start looking back through your childhood, how many of those things happen like that? And when you start seeing what each of these things do, and we can look down our nose, oh my gosh, that's somebody did meth, that's awful. Oh, it's an alcoholic, that's awful. Carbs and sugar are just socially acceptable. So when you see all of that and we bring all those pieces together, it makes you understand why almond flour don't work, why the bowl of berries don't work, why that little bit of fruit that you're putting in the Greek yogurt, or why that sourdough bread that we all love so much. It's what it's doing to your brain. No, 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 no. And it's
It's crazy because the steps of the keto continuum are to get you trained so you can take that brains course and understand why you just went through all this stuff beforehand. Why you
So
went through the keto continuum.
you're supposed to go through keto continuum and then do brains course? Is that the way it works, or is it for people who have specific brain conditions that they go through that?
Knowledge is information.
right. And I don't think there's an accident that Dr. Boz taught how to do keto continuum first and then into the brains course publicly, because you've got to get ketones in circulation and to heal the brain. So you've got to join the two forces to get the benefits that we are trying to get in our brain. That's why the sleep is so important. That's why the glucose as low as we can, that DBR nice and low. That is why all those things matter so much. So learning how to do those properly makes the brain health so much more effective and so much more easy to understand.
Remember when we said it was a journey? It's a bigger journey than you actually know.
We're
I
just
mean,
giving you the crash course at the end a little bit.
the keto continuum is how you live your life. And then when you go on to the brains course, you understand, why am I living my life this way and what benefit am I going to get by doing this way? It just opens up another Pandora's box of, hey, this is what I'm healing. It gives you more confidence to say, yes, I'm going to do that. Now, here are some other steps to heal your brain even more now that you're doing it correctly. So
It's a journey.
it's
I
a
have a
big
quick
journey.
question for you about uric acid. Why do you get uric acid when you're doing this? Or why do you feel that, like, because I keep feeling that in like my toes. And I was like reading about it a little bit. So I'm just trying to understand why you feel it even more so when you're going into this. Is it that I'm not deep enough? Is it that it's activating it and it's trying to get it out of my system? Like, I'm just trying to understand why I keep feeling I don't know what it is. It's like if it's an arthritis or something. Why do I keep getting those?
Okay, so uric acid is flared up by the glucose going up and down. So it's another thing of get that DBR nice and low and stay there. Yes, they do get circulating and they will flare up. But here's the thing, it's again, I'm going to relate it back to the Oxycontin withdrawal. I could go through that with addiction and that withdrawal one time. But if I were to put that milligram back in and give my body back what it wanted, I'm going to go through that milligram again and that withdrawal again. So you relate that to your uric acid, and that uric acid is going to get stirred up the higher that glucose stays. The more that all that keeps going up, the uric acid is going to get flared up. So you get that glucose down, get that uric acid calmed down. Yes, it can stir those crystals up as it gets moving and trying to flush out of your system. Absolutely. But get it over with.
And get it out of your system.
Flushed and out. Because
And keep it out.
as soon as you raise those carbs up again, now you're going to go through it again because you just fed it and made it happy again. So now it's going to come out and say, hey, here I am, pay attention to me again. And you're going to go through the same thing again. So if you go back and forth of that, then you're just feeding it and coming back. It's kind of like, do you ever see people that get the keto rash? They get that itchiness and they eat some carbs and it gets better and it feels better. Well, yeah, it gets better and feels better because you just fed it. You just gave it the sugar that it's looking to live on. So you can go through the carb, or you can go through the keto rash and you can tough it out and get that DBR nice and low, keep that glucose down and starve it and get rid of it. Or you can feed the carbs again. And then the next time you drop down and it gets hungry, it's going to flare up again. And you're going to keep doing the cycle. So again, you're cleaning out one step closer. Again, why I would not suggest anybody to carb cycle, because you know what? You just clean that. If you get that glucose down, you get a nice and low DBR, you're getting everything going in the right direction. Now you're going to go add some more carbs and sugar back just to get that uric acid woke up again. I mean,
Yes, the stove is hot. Ouch.
stop touching it.
Stop touching the stove.
And all these little symptoms that we talk about, or big symptoms that we talk about, the problem, if it's too much glucose, stop putting it in. Stop. That is the biggest, if you could take away one little lesson, is
Your consistency will get rid of your uric acid. Being more consistent and staying there and getting in and staying there, you won't notice it anymore.
so when I'm teasing you, when I'm giving you a little bit of crap about the zucchini in your broth or, whatever, the lettuce or the whatever, all those little things that you're having, they're just adding glucose. They're not giving you nutrition. They're feeding dopamine. They're giving you some crunch. They're giving you some what you want, but they're not giving you the nutritional things that you need to move forward and progress.
So if you're going to do it, you might as well make it count.
Rip the Band-Aid off and do it. Eat the meat, add the fat, cut the crap. It's just the easiest way to think of it, I guess. It is. But
Anyway,
all right, guys, I think we've hounded everybody enough for one night.
and we want to say, Heather, we know you're in the muck
Yes.
right now. Put your boots on tight
We
and
gotcha.
keep stepping.
And please call us if you need anything. Anybody watching on replay or anything, just know Hack Your Health still is the coupon code is JTK.
JTK.
That price will progressively keep going up, so make sure you're doing that. I think we are going to have registration for the 21 day with Dr. Boz starting in
Run that again.
September. We're getting ready that should go live here in the next week or so on our website. If you go over to my website, use my link to get in there. You can request me as a coach, but if you don't want me as a coach, there are other wonderful coaches over there. So if you want a different perspective, that's not a bad thing either. We will be working on getting the 21 day going and everything over on the website. So anything that you're having questions on, everything's getting ready to pick up. So let us know. Brains course, I'm waiting to figure out dates of 21 day and how big that's going to be before I lay the next brains course down of what dates will go, because that's a big commitment from you. So we all have to be focused in the right direction when we do that brains course. I really like to be able to focus on it.
But that 21 day, just so everybody knows, is a boot camp. They will smack your butt around. It will definitely get your jump started.
Yes, it does. New classes, if anybody does need help with macros and getting in classes, please message me and we can get you in before classes on Tuesday again. So we will get there. Anything else over there?
Nope.
Okay. All right, everybody. We love y'all. Let us